The adventure of exploring life on Earth leads us far beyond what people can see on land. Yet few people today have any real familiarity with the sea or the diversity of life in it, especially children from inland towns and cities. At Gulf Specimen Marine Laboratory in Panacea, we connect the sea to kids' imaginations and provide a deep source from which young minds can draw.
Sponge and the sea squirts in the bucket, and I'll try and catch some shrimp.
The usual trip to the coast means heading to the beach.
The bottom of this dock always stays wet. There are lots of animals living out here on this dock that can't live near the shore because they dry out.
The flip side of the sand and seagulls and simple elegance of a beach, however, is its uniformity.
These are little animals like we were talking about on the deck that are all connected together. And if we look at them in the bucket, you can see on the little branches little tiny shrimp that live on them.
Of course, if we have access to a boat and can get out onto open water, we might be lucky enough to see dolphins leaping, or to watch clouds of jellyfish drifting with the tide, or perhaps to glimpse schools of big fish racing past. Yet even to the sailors who spend their lives on the water, the sea presents a mirror that reflects the sky, hiding most of the life below the surface.
And these are fouling plaques that we grow. You see, by hanging a piece of shell out here.
Because diving equipment doesn't come in kid size, there's even less opportunity for children to encounter firsthand the sea's true wonders.
Hey, I saw one. I saw a little baby one.
Because we put the shell in
Still, there are ways. At aquariums like Gulf Specimen, kids and adults alike can find a new connection with the planet, even while keeping their feet dry.
And sea squirts and the worms, sea slugs and nudibranchs that live in them are all things that grow on these fouling plaques.
You can touch it very gently. Don't touch it harder. You'll hurt it.
Gulf Specimen's aquarium is surrounded by a rich coastal wilderness. The more adventurous can arrange for guided tours into these areas with our staff. All of us here have devoted our lives to better understanding and relating to these creatures, and are more than happy to share what we have learned.
These are eggs of a big giant snail that gets about this big, and we're going to see some of these in the aquarium. And these are all dried out, but if you look, it's really a whole bunch of these little pockets, see? And each one of these pockets had the little live baby snails in there. So this batch of eggs got pulled in here on a storm or something and dried out.
On any given day, there are as many as 100 to 200 species of animals and plants in residence, each having its own special qualities, its own precious uniqueness. Animals that look like plants and plants unlike any on land. They challenge our concepts of what it means to be an animal, of what it means to be alive. Gulf Specimen is linked to universities nation and worldwide as both a teaching and a working aquarium committed to the advance of medical research and high-level science and to the protection of endangered sea turtles.
Now loggerheads have great big heads and jaws. They have the biggest head of any of the sea turtles, and some of the biggest and horseshoe crabs and other things of that sort. Toughest jaws, which he uses for breaking open conch shells.
With our educational efforts for visitors to Gulf Specimen, we have the best kind of interactive display.
Can you have a fish? Certainly you may have a fish. Okay?
The best multimedia involves a live person answering a child's questions about a live animal the child is holding in their hands.
This is called a slipper lobster. Let me hold it because it's going to slip out of your hand like that. You're itching. Can you touch it?
Can we touch him?
You can touch this one.
On weekdays, school buses unload classes of excited kids who want to know where the nurse shark is even before they get through the gate. They discover that the world is somehow bigger than they ever dreamed.
That doesn't even have eyelids. Its eyes are open to all.
Stingrays, for example, turn out to be gentle creatures whose velvety skin is soft to the touch.
When they come up along the side and they do that thing, you just...
As everybody knows, nobody touches the sharks.
Okay, now I'm going to throw this in. I don't know whether we're going to have any customers for it or not, but let's see what happens.
touches the grouper or triggerfish either, no matter how they stare at you with their demanding eyes. This critically endangered Kemp's Ridley sea turtle is being held for rehabilitation after swallowing a fisherman's hook. After weeks of waiting and several x-rays, it has finally passed the hook and is beginning to eat again. Parents and teachers and all of us at Gulf Specimen know that kids have a hands-on, up-close and personal style of learning.
It could be a male or a female. It just hasn't developed its claws yet. You can't tell when they're young.
Here, children of all ages can hold things they've never heard of, seen, or even guessed existed before. And even the ones they can't touch, they can learn to approach without fear.
Somebody get that huge one. Got it. Where? Ah! Get it out of my hair! Get it out of my hair!
Come on, hurry! Here it goes!
Puff it up! I know it's like she caught it.
Now, if something caught this fish and it swelled up like that in the mouth of a grouper, what would the grouper do?
Spit it out.
It would spit it out. So as soon as you spit it out, if you don't touch it or it won't let it go. As long as it feels threatened, it'll stay puffed. So it knows we're still here and it's not taking any chances. Well, did y'all have a good time on the guided tour?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, this is the end of the guided tour, but y'all are welcome to stay around.
As the sea reveals its secrets, children and adults gain new answers and new questions, and kids especially find greater self-confidence in the face of the unknown. Gulf Specimen Marine Laboratory is on a quiet back street between Highway US 98 and Dickerson Bay, 45 minutes from Tallahassee. From the capital, take US 319 south to US 98, then US 98 west to Panacea. Call for group and individual rates. Our number is 850-984-5297. Our webpage also provides a great preview for your visit, or afterwards, a great way to check back on what changes and improvements we're making.